Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. We want to cover something today that many people have been asking me. I've been getting this question a lot over the previous week. People want to know what can we do or what can you do to keep your computer running fast, right? Especially when it comes to Windows 10. A lot of users now have Windows 10 installed on their laptop or on their desktop system, and they want to know what can they do to keep those machines running at its optimal, right? So I'm going to give you 3 tips today, 3 things that you can do that can assist you as a home user. And these are things that you can do. You don't need to take your computer to any repair shop or any technician to get these done. So let's get to it. Alright, so one of the biggest things, of course, is how do we speed up our computer once we have it running? What happens is a majority of the time, because you have been using your computer over time, it kind of saves the processes or programs that you were using. And every time your computer loads up, every time you start up your computer, these programs get loaded into memory. And they're not necessarily programs that you would use all the time. So a good idea is to stop some of the startup processes that occurs and some of the startup programs that occur. So let me show you how to do that. So you can right click on your taskbar and choose Task Manager. So right click on taskbar and choose Task Manager. Now what this does, and this is one of the nice features of Windows 10, is that it shows you each program or app that is running along with the processes that are running when you start up or that are running on your computer at this time, and also the memory usage and the CPU usage, right? So what we're looking at is that we want to end the startup processes. So right under the startup tab here, you can choose, you'll see a list of startup items, and these are things that start up whenever your computer starts up. And you wouldn't want this list to be too long. Over time, depending on your machine, you will see the list being very long. I've seen it on other people's machine. Now, what you want to do is that you want to be able to disable some of these that you don't want running. For example, when my computer starts up, I definitely want that my antivirus is running or my Windows security software is running. I want my Microsoft OneDrive, for example, and other Microsoft products I might want to make sure that I have them running whenever my computer starts up, because Microsoft is the maker of the operating system. Things like this. My computer, whenever it starts up, this Epic Game Launcher starts up because I play games sometimes. And so if I don't want this started whenever I restart my computer, then I would just select it and choose Disable. Right? And you can do this for all the other items that you know that you don't want started up whenever your computer starts up. So again, make sure that your antivirus starts up when your computer starts up and your Microsoft products. That's tip number 1. We can do the same thing for the various services, and so we can check what is running on our computer in terms of services. This gets a little bit tricky if you're not too sure about what you're doing. I wouldn't necessarily touch these, but these are services that will also start up on your computer, runs on your computer whenever your computer is working. Processes, this is where you can monitor to see how much memory is actually being used by what application, and you can end those if you don't want the application to be running. And what this does is that it helps your computer to work a little bit better because you're freeing up memory. Mine is not too bad, although this looks like a lot, because you'll notice that we're only using 27% of our memory and a small percent of our CPU. But again, that depends on the desktop or the laptop that you're working on. All right, so again, you can stop the startup items, and you're also able to stop certain processes from running. And of course, this helps your computer to work a little bit faster, a little bit better. Tip number 2, we can go ahead and clear out some of the temporary files that we don't need. What happens is that, again, when you're using software over time, your computer accumulates what is known as temporary files. And temp files can be cleaned. There's a way to do this. These are, and we're doing, keep in mind, we're doing all these without having to install a third-party software or having to install some other software that will manage or tell you what to do with your computer system, right? So Tip number 2 is that we can clean up our temporary files. To do a disk cleanup, we can open my computer, and on our C drive, we can right click and choose Properties. And here it has disk cleanup. Now, a lot of people don't know about these tools. This is why I'm showing you. And so we can quickly click on disk cleanup. It will do a calculation and tell you how much of your disk you're actually going to get cleaned up. It asks you to dump, so I can notice I can dump my temporary internet files. I can dump my downloaded program files, and these are things that you won't use again. Won't necessarily dump my downloads. You can also empty your recycling bin, and you can choose to empty the other temporary files that are accumulated by programs as you use them, right? And so we can also then click on clean up system files so that Windows assists you in the maintenance of its own file system. And then we choose OK. Another thing that you can do is that you might have a whole bunch of software on your computer that you don't necessarily want or don't necessarily need to have. And so what we can do is that we can uninstall programs properly. Uninstalling program doesn't mean just deleting it off the desktop. And so to uninstall a program properly, you can click on the Windows button, type in Control Panel, and then select Uninstall a program. So if there's a program that you don't want on your computer, and I like that my computer shows all the publisher, I know I'm in trouble when the publisher is not identified by Microsoft. And so if there's a program on your computer that you don't want running, you can always uninstall a program, and that is done through this particular area. And say for example, I didn't want Putty on my computer anymore. I could click on that and then choose uninstall. And says, are you sure you want to uninstall Putty? And yes, and it goes through the process of uninstalling whatever software you have. Keep in mind that some software takes a little bit longer to uninstall than others, right? And some of them may require that you restart your computer or restart whatever component it was using. So I'm not going to uninstall this, I'm just showing you the particular process. So you can uninstall programs that you don't need on your computer. And then finally, we can do some defragmentation on our drive or optimization of our drive, again using just software that are built into Windows that came with your operating system. To do that, let's click on the Windows button, and we will type in defragmentation and optimize drive. And here it asks you which drive you want to defragment, and you can analyze this drive. So I'll do drive C and run an analysis, and it starts to analyze the drive, and we'll be doing some defragmentation of the drive once you choose to optimize afterwards. So that's another tip you can use. Defragmentation takes a long while depending on the size of the drive. Most computers now comes with 500 gig hard drive, a terabyte, maybe 2 terabyte hard drive. That takes a while to actually get defragmented or to get optimized. But these are some tips you can use to get your computer up and running and get your computer running as fast as possible, especially when it comes to Windows 10 machine. Alright, so there you have it. Some short tips that you as a home user can use to keep your laptop or your desktop running Windows 10 and running at its optimal, right? They're performing well. One of the things, and now, especially in today's world, that you have to be careful of is some of the things that you accept into your computer, such as viruses, spyware, adwares, and so forth. Majority of the time, it is caused by you clicking on a link that you're not sure of, you accepting or opening an email attachment that you're not sure of, right? But I hope these tips can help you. I hope that you get your computer working a little bit better, a little bit faster. I know these help. I know these can help, right? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I actually wanted to do these tips in a live session. I'm still thinking about doing the live session at least once a week. Let me know if that is something that you want to see. If it's something that you want to see me go live, for example, every Sunday evening for a half an hour and answer some of your questions, let's do that. If you have any additional questions or any additional comments, don't be afraid to leave it in the comment below. And remember to hit that notification button so that you can see when I post new videos. Have a nice day.